This is episode 4. We're sharing our top favorite animated movies of all time, and we're diving into the Magnificent Seven remake. Welcome to Any Given Saturday. I had to stall. I almost said it.
You almost said Sunday again.
I almost said it. This is the show that provides both the fan and critic point of view. Each week, we bring you insights, review, and ridiculous banter on all types of topics like movies, TVs, books, games, and anything on the web. I'm Dan Powers, the fan of the equation, and every week I am with the, it still says Critic Mastermind. We haven't changed that yet. Critic Mastermind Bailey Hemphill.
I didn't even know what we can say.
Well, you look for like a descriptive word, and I don't know where mastermind even came from. Like, you know, sometimes when you just start writing something, you just fill in the blank. And I use that TK a lot, and this time I just said mastermind. And here we are, episode 4, and you're still mastermind.
I do have a very large head, so maybe that's why.
Isn't that, what's that cartoon with them? Is that Brainiac or
Megamind?
Yeah,
yeah,
Megamind. Ooh, so
Will Ferrell.
Each week we're joined by critic Megamind.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be good. Someone please Photoshop me into Megamind.
Megamind. Bailey as Megamind. Tweet that out.
Bailey.
That'd be interesting. So tonight I'm going to a concert. I'm super stoked.
What concert is that?
I'm going to Skillet. Do you know who Skillet is?
No freaking idea.
Do you know who 1,000 Foot Crutch is?
No.
Oh my God.
I feel like you're making these up. Is this a Jimmy Kimmel sketch?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You don't know either of them?
No.
Oh, so I'm a huge Skillet fan. I'm going to say what they are, and you're going to look at me really weird because I dropped the F-bomb and I said shit.
They're a Christian rock band, aren't they?
They're absolutely a Christian rock band.
That was a wild guess, but the way that you set that up, I was like, this is where we're going.
But if you ask most people, they wouldn't know they're Christian rock necessarily. They are if I played them, which we can't do here, they are very hard rock. Very hard rock. They put on big rock shows and blow pyros up and the whole 9 yards. So they put on a hell of a show. But they are Christian rock.
That's an interesting combination.
I'm not in it for the Christian part, and I have nothing against religion or Christianity or any of that, but I'm in it because they're loud, they play hard, and they blow shit up. So. But we never talked about music.
That's why I like fireworks. I mean.
I like
They're
fireworks.
Loud, they blow up.
Well, I've seen, you know who Motley Crue is, right?
Yes.
So I've seen Motley Crue in concert a handful of times. And there's nothing better than hearing like loud rock, and in the auditorium they're blowing up fireworks as they're playing. Like, it's the best of both worlds.
I haven't been to a concert in a really long time, and I think it's because I just can't justify spending the money.
Ooh.
Like,
so we're on different playing fields there.
I like it. I love going. My husband and I go to Zach Brown Band a lot. Just because that's more like chill, like grab a beer, sit back, and just kind of listen. But yeah, I haven't been to a ton of concerts.
So who do you listen to now?
Well, that's the thing, is I kind of like everything.
One of those people.
Yes, I really do. I don't even have like a favorite band, musician, genre. It's just, I like everything. My Spotify is just crazy. Like, whenever it tries to give me recommendations for Discover Weekly, it's like, here's some classical. Now here's hardcore rap. Now here's a soundtrack from a movie. Here's some Broadway.
I am 98% hard rock, and then I split up the other couple of percent between, every once in a while, this is going to sound crazy, but I listen to like Barry Manilow. I grew up with Barry Manilow.
Everybody loves Barry.
I've seen Barry twice in concert. I love Barry Manilow. And then I'll listen to some country every once in a while. If I'm hurting for some music and I just need something to just really chill me out or something, I will break out a little bit of country, but a little bit of country goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
So one day
is it country, like new country or like 90s country?
New country.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm 90s country.
I don't know. I don't like anything twangy. Anything twangy at all.
That was the 90s.
Yeah. So it's more of really, the new country is borderline rock almost, some of it.
Or pop.
Yeah, or pop. So I can listen to some of that stuff where it's that, you know, Luke Bryan, for instance. I don't know if I get made fun of for saying Luke Bryan. I don't know if he's what genre of country is. He's only one of the people I know. Jason Aldean, and like I listened to a little bit of those guys. But one afternoon, and I'm kicking the truck tires and saying it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I love rock. Love it.
I'm seriously, it's so hard to talk about music because it's just like I will like most things.
I say that, but then when I get up in the morning, so I get up really early in the morning, and I typically listen to like Iron Maiden and Metallica and Black Sabbath.
Start in the morning rough.
That's how you start the morning. And then usually I'll listen to that for a while, and then I'll ease into some Journey, something that's a little more mellowed, and then you get through the shower, and then after the shower and you get ready for work, that's where it swings wildly for me. But it's still rock. It's just a matter of how hard do we want to go or how soft.
The hard rock times for me are when I'm driving on the interstate during rush hour because I'm just like, get out of my way! I will destroy you!
Yeah. I'm not quite like that with it, but I do enjoy it. So tonight's going to be fantastic. And they're playing in a small venue.
Oh, a small venue. How small?
Sokol.
Okay, that's pretty small.
About 1,000 people. And so I've seen Skillet. This will be my 5th time. And I've never seen them in a venue this small. Years ago, when I first seen them, when they were pretty early in their career, they were still in a venue that was roughly 3,500, 4,000 people. So it's the smallest venue. I have no idea why they're playing this. And 1,000 Foot Crutch is a pretty good band. Them alone could do better than Sokol. So the two of those together, it's like, holy crap, in a small venue like that. Oh my God, it's gonna be fantastic.
I have a dilemma coming up with a concert that I actually do want to go to.
Uh-oh.
You ever hear of Real Big Fish?
I've heard of them.
Ska band.
I have no idea who they are, though.
Yeah, check them out. They're pretty great. But they're going to be in town, and their concert is on a Saturday night during the Husker game. And I'm like, I can't choose. I want to go to this concert, but I also want to watch the game. So
tonight is Skillet. It's not until 8 o'clock in the opening. There's a third band that I don't give two craps about. I don't know who they are. Huskers play at 6. So
you're gonna miss.
I will watch the first half, and then I will watch the second half on my phone from the road.
BTN to go.
Yep, BTN that bitch to go. And hopefully by the time the concert starts and we get in there, the game will be fairly handled. Like Nebraska will have this handled, and I'll just catch up with the replays and the notes afterwards. But it is a conflict. But I bought the tickets before I knew Nebraska was going to be playing at night.
You always take that gamble.
There is.
It could be a bye week. You never know.
Yeah, and we were even talking this week about selling tickets because of the Huskers playing at this time. Get rid of the tickets, but I really want to see Skillet.
Well, I hope you have a good time.
I shall. I love concerts. Love them. All right, so we move on?
Moving on.
So this was your challenge.
Yeah, last week we were talking about animated movies and kind of what studio really creates the best, and everybody sent in their picks, and it was kind of I'd say a tie between Disney and Pixar. But Dan and I thought it'd be fun to discuss our personal favorite animated movies. So we each brought 5 to the table, and they're pretty different. But
yeah, I think they're very different, which they should be based off of our genre or our age and our gender and all that. I don't think that's any surprise. But you had one on there particular that I have no clue what it is.
Oh, see, I love that then.
No clue.
I will open your world.
Yeah, you totally will. So do you want to start this, or who should start this?
How about I'll start, and we'll do me, then you, then me, then you, and yada yada.
All right.
Perfect?
That worked.
All right. So my first one on my top 5 is Beauty and the Beast. It's a classic. I know there's the Stockholm Syndrome issues with the story, but my God, I love that movie. And as a child, I watched it all the time. It came out in 1991, starring Paige O'Hara, Robbie Benson, Angela Lansbury. I'm sure you know the story. She's imprisoned by the Beast. They fall in love. She breaks the spell. Yay, happy ending for everyone.
And the teapot talks.
And the songs are the best part of that whole movie.
I don't know if sounds crazy. I don't even know if I remember the songs necessarily.
Be Our Guest.
I remember. I guess now you say that, I remembered.
Beauty and the Beast, like the main song.
I remember that too. Who sings that?
Angela Lansbury.
Oh. Huh.
They're actually celebrating the 25th anniversary of it right now, and she just re-sang it for that anniversary celebration.
I didn't know she sung it.
Yeah.
I remember my mom loves this movie. It's her favorite Disney movie of all time.
It's beautiful.
My sister loves this movie. And I remember getting in the car, and they would play, my mom and my sister would always have the cassette tape of the soundtrack, and they would play the crap out of that thing.
I actually have a funny memory with my dad. where I was at my aunt's dance studio and I was dancing around in my bell dress. Yes, I had a bell dress. Don't judge me. And my dad came to pick me up and I was like, my beast, come dance with me. And I made him get on his knees and dance with me to Beauty and the Beast, the theme.
That's a good dad.
He's a great dad. Shout out to my dad. How you doing, Dad?
You better shout out to your mom, too.
Shout out to my mom.
She's the one that's going to critique this the most.
Yeah, she's going to tweet me right now and be like, I can't believe you didn't even mention me.
Well, all right, my turn?
Yes.
So I'm going to start off with a Disney as well, which is no shocker. I'm sure we all have Disney favorites. But I'm going Tarzan.
So good.
Tarzan, 1999. Phil Collins singing. There's some jam on there. And what I love is every time I think of Tarzan, I think of him like skateboarding through the trees. You know how he did the weird...
Because it was the Tony Hawk?
Yeah, the Tony Hawk thing or whatever it was. Yeah. But fantastic. I think most everybody knows, the story. Just like Beauty and the Beast. Guy raised by gorillas and he saves the Jane from doom and gloom and on. But 1999, $171 million it gross, which doesn't sound like a lot now.
Yeah, now it doesn't.
But back then that was a huge movie. But it was a fantastic. I remember going to see this with my daughter, my oldest daughter, and after that it was just like she wanted to be Jane over and over and over and over, and we did the whole Halloween thing, and it was a fantastic movie.
Just the soundtrack was great too. I still listen to it to this day.
Out of everything we talk about here, I bet it's probably one of, if not the best soundtrack.
Out of this list?
Out of this list.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think we can make that argument.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have one that will trump hardcore trumpet.
Okay, outside, and you will have one. Outside of that, though, and I'm not a Phil Collins fan, really. I mean, he's okay. He doesn't bother me, but goddamn, it was a great soundtrack.
It's a great movie.
All right.
So my next one is Chicken Run. It's a claymation animation film. You've probably seen the same people who did like Wallace and Gromit and Shaun the Sheep. Same thing. It's British. It's actually a DreamWorks film. So the premise is that a rooster lands in a chicken farm and the chickens have been trying to escape because they don't want to get their heads cut off and cooked and you know what. And so they convince him to teach them how to fly. And it's just ridiculous. But it was a 2000 film. And it cracks me up. Oh my God. It's very adult humor for being a movie for children.
Yeah, I like the guy that directed sounds very British. Peter Lord.
That's not that British.
Lord? Sounds British.
If his name was like
I guess
Peter Wellington III.
Well, I guess if you put Lord on the front side of Peter.
Yes, then he would sound very British. But
I remember seeing this movie, but I don't really remember it.
Mel Gibson. Yeah. He's like the most recognizable name out of all of these people. But I think Miranda Richardson's in there as well. And oh my gosh. There's this one little chicken in there who cracks me up. She's like a really, really large one because, of course, the whole joke is like the fatter they get, the more they're going to die. Yeah. And every time a chicken gets taken to the chop, as they call it, she's like, "Oh, are they going on holiday?" And they're like, "No, she's going to die." And she's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate." She's just like so happy about everything.
I don't even know if my kid's seen that one. I'll have to fire it up.
You should watch it. It's a good one.
It's been a long time. I bet my kids would crack up over it.
Totally.
My next one is a Disney classic, the one and only Peter Pan. So Peter Pan and, most people, again, know these stories, but Wendy and the brothers and the whole story, to me, it was the ultimate kid movie, like really little kid movie. And if you wanted to dream about going off and doing something crazy.
Fighting pirates
and hanging out with, fairies and, having your own clubhouse with your guy friend. Your guy friends. I guess they weren't all guys. And Wendy got in the mix.
They're up and they're like, "Yo, bro, you want to go fight some pirates?"
But what a fantastic show, right? Like, I mean, for me, I was just like that as a kid. I remember that being like one of the big movies that really, at least cartoons that really played a part in my childhood. Now, I never played with any Peter Pan toys or anything like that.
Did you try to fly?
I'm sure several times I tried to fly, I'm sure. I don't know because of that or Superman, but either way, like Christopher Reeves had me convinced that I could put a cape on and fly. He had me convinced.
You're the reason there's a tag in there that says cape does not enable user to fly.
Yeah, well, I remember having a pillowcase that I would tie around my neck, and me and my brother would surely try that.
Oh my gosh!
But this show ain't far off. But it's a classic, 1953, and it's still
Was
today.
it really that long ago?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right, you're up.
So my next one is Corpse Bride. It's a Tim Burton film. It's Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, and Emily Watson. And the premise is Johnny Depp's character is a very hesitant groom in the Victorian times. It's one of those stories where it's like the parents arranged the marriage, you don't really know her, and you're not really sure about this. So he's practicing his wedding vows out in the middle of this scary forest, and places this ring on a tree branch, or at least what he thinks is a tree branch. Nope, it's actually the corpse of a young bride who was murdered. It's very dark, very dark. But it's one of...
You said Tim Burton.
Yes,
so.
It's one of Tim Burton's best films, though. And it's, yet again, the claymation. So, oh my gosh, 2005, look it up.
I've never even heard of this.
It's so great.
But when you said... And I couldn't find it. I was trying to figure this movie out before. Like, what is this? But as soon as you said Tim Burton, I could actually, what's weird is you can picture it already. Just by you talking, I'm like, oh, I can totally picture what that would look like as soon as you say Tim Burton. Just he has that style. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Johnny Depp and everything. Controversial
opinion, I think this one's better than The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which is probably the only one I've seen from Tim Burton.
But there are a lot of people who are probably going to be like, oh, no, that's not true. No, I seriously think this, because this one's really underrated.
That's interesting.
What's your next one?
Oh, you got me pondering that. I'm like, All right, so my next one, of course, is The Incredibles by Pixar. When they were still Pixar, I think, right? Yeah, they were Pixar, not Disney yet.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
The Incredibles, you know what, as a little, especially, and I have a little son now that loves Big Hero 6 and The Incredibles, right? And for me, it was like, that was the first big Disney movie that played to little boys. And it played for girls, too, and everything. But if you're a little boy, you're hyped a lot. Well, let me rephrase that. If you're a little boy that grew up with me in my area, like, we love superheroes. That was just the thing back then. And to have a movie that played to that, a whole superhero family, and, they're going out to fight crime and save the world. It was just like, it was the kid movie for me. It just came a lot later in life, right? I was a couple of years past my childhood when that came out. 2004, grossed a ton of money, did well. Craig T. Nelson, which I think is, it's kind of funny when I see that, because I always think of Coach. You ever watch the show Coach? Craig T. Nelson as the main character, and of course Samuel L. Jackson, which he does not say shit in this, but
motherfucker.
That's more his line.
I still love that line where he's like, "Where's my super suit?"
It's such a funny show. I love that show. It's just the show that plays to me personally, probably almost more than any other Disney movie or Pixar movie ever. But I don't know. That's what I got.
Right on.
Yeah.
My next one is. My mom's going to love this. Fantasia, not the new one. I'm talking the 1940
Did
Fantasia.
They make a new one?
Yeah, they did a Fantasia 2000.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, it's not good. Fantasia is great, though. It's probably been parodied so many times, too, but it is a classic. I would say it is the classic, because it was a movie where they actually had a conductor and an orchestra. And then they animated musical, oh my gosh, it was like Bach, Stravinsky, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven, Schubert, like everybody was in there. And it was just so cool how they animate, like Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, that was the dinosaurs fighting. Oh my God, that so pumped. And then there's the Dance of the Hours, which everybody knows. It's the hippos and the alligators and the ostriches. Doing the ballet, yeah. And, of course, The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey.
Yep.
But I watched that so many times that I think my parents will never, ever want to watch it again.
I was the opposite. My mom made me watch this. And so I'm like, God damn, we got to watch this again. Like, it didn't play to me necessarily as much. And I felt like it was... I'm kind of on the opposite end. I did not get into this movie at all. I didn't... I was too young to appreciate what it was, really. I think even now, if I watched it, I don't know if I would enjoy it a whole lot, but I think I would definitely appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up in a musical family, so this was like my thing. Because I was like, ooh, yeah, Bach. I know this, even though I'm a small child.
We did a lot of plays in our family, so a lot of musical plays and things of that nature. But so my mom listened to a lot of theme records, right? We're going to listen to this movie soundtrack or that play soundtrack. I can sing everything from like My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins, but this one, I probably would have a better appreciation now.
Yeah, especially just because the way that they animated the music is just way beyond what anybody else could do.
1940.
1940.
Ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah, way ahead of time. Mm-hmm. My next one is, again, Pixar, playing to the Pixar theme, Toy Story, which I thought Toy Story was fantastic. That movie, the animation that they did for that movie was so different than anything anybody else did.
Back in 95.
And they stacked it full of people, right? You know, they brought in Tom Hanks and, you know, Tim Allen, and that movie just cracked me up. They had a different sense of humor. They weren't, I don't even know, they were playing to a broader audience almost with their jokes. So I found myself laughing along with kids, right? Like instead of, you know, the kid joke versus the adult joke, we all were laughing at the same jokes, which that was very unique, I thought, at that time. So I love this show. You know, the cowboy and his owner, and how the cowboy comes to life with his other toys and how they play when the owner's not around. I mean, it's almost, I don't know if you recall, a long time ago, and I barely remember this, but the Raggedy Ann and Andy cartoons or concept, it's the same premise where Raggedy Ann and Andy would come alive after the owner would step away or go away, and they would play with their friends and all that. So it kind of reminds me of that, but it was very well done, and I think it's really funny.
Well, and it's I would say every kid's kind of imagination too, because you always wondered, do my toys come to life when I leave? Because sometimes, like exactly, like
move
your creepy doll in the corner was suddenly on your bed, and you're like, how did that get there? Please tell me she's not possessed.
Yep.
And my final one is DreamWorks' The Prince of Egypt. Now, I have a bad relationship with DreamWorks because I feel like they have become nothing but butt and fart jokes as of late. But this movie back in 1998 was by far their greatest film. And it's the story of Moses. And it's interesting because, like, I'm not a particularly religious person, but this movie appeals to me, not because it goes super religious, but it's beautiful, and it's a story that is well done. And the music, I think this is the soundtrack that could probably knock Tarzan out of oh my God. The soundtrack for this one gives me goosebumps just talking about it. But it was great cast too. Val Kilmer, Ray Fiennes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick Stewart, Steve Martin, Martin Short. I am not shitting you. This is DreamWorks' best picture, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Yeah, I remember going to the theater and seeing this with my mother. She was so hyped on it. And we went and seen it, and it was a fantastic movie. Really enjoyed it. Just stacked full of people. I was really shocked. The crazy thing is I really never thought DreamWorks did a lot after this. I mean, I really enjoyed the original Shrek. I thought, oh, that was kind of funny. But all their shows just...
They all are very similar.
Yeah, very much so. This was the one that really kind of stood out. And, you know, it kind of set the bar almost for a moment. You know, they set the bar for them, what they were going to do next. And then everything they delivered just really didn't live up to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think... The Road to El Dorado came after this one, and that one was probably the next closest thing to this, but everything else they've done is just
Wasn't
garbage.
This a long movie, too? Longer than...
It's not really long. I don't think it's actually that long, but...
Maybe not.
The parting of the sea moment was... Oh, my God. Like, go watch it. Please go watch it. You can understand how... Like, I can't even talk about it. Oh, my God. I'm going to stop talking now.
All right, we'll move on. Great movie. So my favorite, and you can question and argue whether this was truly a movie. I don't give a shit. I'm still putting it on my list. So my favorite of all time, and we weren't even ranking, but I will say this is probably my favorite of all time, animation, movie, or film, is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which originally was named, what was it? It was part of Mr. Toad's.
Yeah, the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
And Mr. Toad, that's right. And it came out in 1943 or something ridiculous. I didn't even I thought I put notes of that. But anyway, it came out in somewhere in the early 40s, and it was combined. It was two stories, short stories that came together.
49.
49. So it came out in 49. I was close. But then they split it off years later, and they end up showing just the Legend of Sleepy Hollow by itself. So in 63, it became its own little featurette, and they showed that. If you don't know the Legend of Sleepy Hollow or the Headless Ghost, you absolutely should watch this show. And it's, they did it's fun, it's musical, but there's something for me personally about Halloween and, the Headless Ghost. It's fantastic. I love that theme or that genre. I don't know if there's even really any movie since then that's played to me quite like that, but the whole Halloween thing, right? And it just has a little bit of spookiness to it, but yet it's fun, and you got a hero in the end, and it's still kind of, even it closes off. It's kind of a mystery, like, oh, what happened? Did they get him? Did it not? Now you can argue it's only 33 minutes, so
really,
that
is very short.
But the criteria, right, was it hit the big screen?
Yes, it did,
and this hit the big screen in its own way, And if you don't know Bing Crosby. He was the star of it. He's the guy who played Ichabod Bob Crane. Bing Crosby was fantastic. Whoa.
Yeah, I think the only way to see it now, though, is if you have to go rent, or if you already have it, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Hey,
it's a Disney film, by the way.
Not to interrupt this deep conversation, but
oh boy,
I just got a text. I'm going to let you just read the top line out, who it's from and what it says. The very top text.
I'm scared. The very top text.
Very top text.
Pat is a boy. ... and subsequent boner. What? Oh my god.
All right.
I hope this isn't about the animated films.
I didn't read any of the other text, so I don't know what he's excited about.
Oh my god.
I can't.
Thanks for derailing us, Pat.
I can't make that content up. Oh boy. Anyway. Totally sidetracked us. So you went and seen Magnificent Seven?
I did, yeah.
I didn't get this. Oh, I haven't gone yet because I was waiting for your review partially. I want to see this movie. I have not read anything about it, but you may derail all that.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the plot before we start getting into the deep discussion. The town of Rose Creek is under the control of industrialist Bartholomew Bogue, which is a hilarious name, by the way. The desperate townspeople employ protection from 7 outlaws, bounty hunters, gamblers, and hired guns. As they prepare the town for the violent showdown that they know is coming, these 7 mercenaries find themselves fighting for more than money.
Very well read.
Thank you. Yes. I should do dramatic readings now. So The Magnificent Seven, this Magnificent Seven, is a remake of the 1960 The Magnificent Seven, and The Magnificent Seven from 1960 is actually an adaptation of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai.
I didn't know that part.
You didn't?
I don't know why I didn't
know that. Why does nobody know this?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 7... Oh my gosh. It's very similar premise, which is... It's essentially like, okay, so... They took 7 samurai and said, you know what? Instead of using samurai, let's use cowboys. So at least that was
Genius.
an interesting remake because it was a totally different concept.
Whoa. So you said that was an interesting remake. Does that mean this wasn't?
I mean, I feel like the 1960 is such a classic that you can't redo it. It is top 10 Westerns.
I won't argue that. It's a Western that I actually watched when I was a kid, I remember. So
Yul Brynner, come on. Oh my God, Yul Brynner is so hot.
Although Boneless
Yul Brynner.
We're going to have an episode all about that one of these days.
Good.
But this is stacked full of people, too.
I'm
sure you got a couple of boneless on this one.
I do.
We'll see.
Yeah. So it's Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, Byung-Hun Lee, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, Martin Sensmeyer, Haley Bennett, and Peter Sarsgaard.
I would have mispronounced at least 5 of those.
I will admit that I did look up Byung-Hun Lee because I was like, I'm going to butcher this. So I hope to God the pronunciation I found was correct. But so here's each character. Denzel Washington is the leader. He's a bounty hunter. Chris Pratt is your gambler, and he's kind of, I'd say like your Han Solo rogue type where he's like, I'm the lady killer. Yeah. Ethan Hawke is a former Confederate sharpshooter who has 23 confirmed kills. And his best friend is Billy Rocks, a Chinese railroad worker, which I find interesting because the actor is Korean, and I feel like China is going to have a problem with that. Vincent D'Onofrio he's like a mountain man who is a scalper. He hunts down Indians and scalps them, essentially. Makes money off of that. And he, of course, gets paired up with Red Harvest, who is a Comanche. That is the most unbelievable part of this whole movie. It's like, okay, no, that's not going to happen.
No.
And then Haley Bennett is your widow who calls upon the Seven to help out her town. And Peter Sarsgaard is Bartholomew Bogue, who, as I said on the radio the other day, he is corporate greed. That's his villain.
There's a lot of those in Westerns.
Yes. So I don't think that it's a bad remake. It's just like it was totally entertaining. Like guns, horses, explosions, and
all right, so
fun. Yeah, it was fun. But don't look at this one too deep because it starts to fall apart. Where you're like the original, the Seven had time to, you kind of got to see each one of them being they're not good people. They're terrible people, but they come together and they soften to this town and to the people and its problems. This one, they're already like, we're good guys.
Oh.
And you're like, no, you're supposed to be bad so that way you can become good.
That's why we like the A-Team.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the A-Team? I love the A-Team. For that reason.
That it's essentially what Suicide Squad was supposed to be. Where
yes.
you're all the bad guys, but you do good things.
We do good things together when we're not as bad as these bad guys.
This was a more interesting Suicide Squad, if you ask me, because, I mean, they're marching into certain death, helping a town. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just, I would recommend you watch the 1960 version instead.
So if I wasn't comparing the two, and it was just a standalone, and I wanted to go see a shoot-'em-up fun movie for 2 hours,
then this is the balls to the walls fun you've been looking for.
See?
Yeah.
See?
So it totally depends on the context.
Me and you. Like, you appreciate the old stuff a lot more than I think a lot of people do.
I appreciated this one though too, because I mean, it was directed by Antoine Fuqua, who did Training Day, and there was some writing from where is he? Nick Palazzo? Oh my god, I cannot say that name. Nick Pizzolatto, who did True Detective.
Pizzolatto.
So, you can see some of like the one-liners from True Detective popping up in this movie.
Season 1 or season 2?
Definitely season 1.
Right.
Nobody watches season 2.
No.
But yeah, it's sexy. It's a very sexy film with a great climax. And hey, none of the horses die.
What?
I always find that hilarious. Like they unload guns all over, and these dudes are falling off, but the horses are totally fine.
Yeah, ain't that so ridiculous? I mean, you really think about it. It's like, because even back then, for you to hit, it's so ridiculous. For me to pull out a pistol and hit a moving target back then that's 50 yards away is near impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be 10 yards away, and that gun is not going to shoot straight.
Well, especially those guns back then.
No, there's no accuracy.
Well.
So for guys to be falling off and the horse to never get hit is a little crazy. But
part of me loves that because I'm like, oh, thank God they didn't hurt the poor horse.
There is a part that you want to have fun, and if an animal gets hurt or if a child gets hurt, it kind of ruins the fun. You're like, oh, you kind of fucked that up.
Yeah, like you can watch someone get shot point blank, and then you're like, yeah, I'm okay with that. But then you see an animal or a child, and you're like, I will burn this theater to the ground.
It's unacceptable, at least for fun.
I do find it funny, though. It's just like, seriously, they sprayed the field, and all the horses got up and ran away. It was like, this is not realistic. Also not realistic. This town is supposed to be 1879. So, mind you, right after the Civil War.
Yep.
And this cast is super diverse, which I love. But
great point.
Nobody in the movie actually is like, I mean, there's a Mexican, and at this time, the U.S. and Mexico were not buddy. No,
not at all.
So, like, it's crazy. It's like
even Denzel to be a leader at that time.
In the South,
He's still. Is this in the South?
It's actually more in the West. Sorry, I did that wrong. They're in the South, so there were a lot of black cowboys. But it's weird because on the one side, I'm like, I love that they're not making a thing about the race here. But at the same time, they're trying to sell this to me as this time period, and no one is reacting to each other. Like, especially the Indian hunter and the Comanche. And they don't ever...
So it's not playing on... realism at all, really. It's kind of just trying to tell a story and have fun, and kind of when you say that, it reminds me of Wild Wild West, which was like,
well, that's steampunk though.
Yeah, that was a little crazy in its own. That was a terrible movie, but
it's one of those. It's so bad that it's fun to watch.
It was. I gotta admit, I've seen it more than once, but it was terrible, and there's just
wiki wild wild woo ha ha.
Who's the guy that sings that? Cisco, right?
No, it was Will Smith.
Wasn't the other guy in the movie or in the thing? Wasn't Cisco like the background guy that was singing with Will Smith? God, I can't remember.
Oh wait, you might be right.
Was that right?
Yes.
Oh my God, Cisco.
He was in the movie or in the music video.
See?
Oh no,
I can't believe I knew that. I don't even know who Cisco is.
Thong Song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Even I know that one. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hell of a lot better than Wild Wild West. So, yeah, I'd say check it out.
Rated R?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's PG-13.
Well, nothing's PG anymore.
No, nothing is PG.
I mean, if it ain't Disney, it's not PG.
Not even. I feel like Toy Story shouldn't be anymore because it gives me nightmares.
Well, even
and
Star Wars,
sad
right?
feelings.
I think they tried to hold on to that PG rating early on. George Lucas did, but even that's gone away.
His uncle and aunt burned. How was that PG?
Yeah. Well, when Star Wars came out, there was no PG-13. You know what the first PG-13 movie ever was?
No. What was it?
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Was it seriously?
Yeah.
I'm going to check you on this one.
Oh, shit. I am...
First PG-13 movie. Oh, shit.
Oh, was I right?
Wait.
Oh.
Oh, no. It was Red Dawn.
God.
Because it came out after Temple of Doom, and parents were pissed about it.
What?
Because Temple of Doom was PG.
No.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No.
I'm not even kidding.
No. Where do you see that? Is that Wikipedia?
BusinessInsider.com.
They don't know what they're doing. Get out of here. No way.
Funtrivia.com. Red Dawn was the first motion picture released with PG-13
All right.
rating.
I truly disagree. I think somebody should do a lot of fact-finding this next week. No way. I remember, so this is why I remember. So, not to,
IMDb has Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as PG.
Damn it. If any movie needed to be PG-13, that was probably the one right there. It was like really kind of pretty creepy, actually, for
because
parts
the
of it.
heart pulling.
Yeah, it was that and the bugs and
the gators.
It was... that scene was terrible.
Or crocodiles, I think they were.
Yeah, they were actually crocodiles, I think. But, God damn it. My mom lied to me. So I remember I was a kid and I wasn't 13 and I wanted to see it. And she said, no, you got to be 13. I remember she made a big deal about being 13 to see it. And then I got on a bus. Me and my next door neighbor got on a bus when Mom was at work, and we took the bus across town to Westroads, and we watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And then we hopped the bus back, and I got back right before she knew we were gone. She had no idea that I would kill my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't put that on tape. I would shake the shit out of my kids, but I wouldn't kill them.
We've got the receipts, people.
But Mom never knew for a long time that I snuck off to see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
That's brilliant. I think the first rated R film that I saw without my parents' permission was Halloween H2O.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
That was I think it was the 20-year version.
Yeah, that was it. I think that's 20-year. I remember when they came back out with that.
But I told my mom because I had a huge guilty conscience. I was just like, Mom, I watched this. And she was like, well, you deserve the nightmares. So
I don't remember my first one, rated R at least, without parents' permission. I got to go see early on, like the Rambo movies and stuff. I was a kid, but my dad would take me to see them. And I remember seeing a handful of rated R movies early on. Thing. I think, did we talk about The Thing here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought we talked about it. I seen that so I got to see a few early on, but Red Dawn, I never got to see Red Dawn at theater. I remember seeing that on cable, and we watched the shit out of Red Dawn. Like, holy crap. Patrick Swayze.
Yep.
Who was it? Emilio Estevez. Like they got some people in that thing. Don't put baby in the corner chick.
Oh, Jennifer Grey.
That was before the nose job. Like yeah.
No, they had Charlie Sheen, not Emilio.
Oh, Charlie Sheen. Oh, I am editing this out. I cannot believe I fucked that up. Like, damn, I said it.
They remade this movie too.
I have to apologize to somebody
terrible.
on Twitter that I just said the F-bomb twice. I swore I wasn't going to do that again. I won't say their name. Because then everybody will tweet them thinking she's the bad guy.
Shit. Shit.
But I said I wasn't going to do it anymore.
I'll just keep saying shit.
But damn, Red Dawn was great. Except for the original Red Dawn at the time was great.
Not the remake.
The remake was freaking terrible.
I mean, when you have Josh Peck in a movie, come on.
Can't believe it. I was wrong about Indiana Jones. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Disappointing.
Man, we got off on a tangent. What were we talking about? Magnificent Seven?
Yeah, disappointing.
It is PG-13, though. I did look that up.
All right.
Which, I mean...
I think a real good Western needs to be R. I don't know why that is. It's like a war movie.
A bit.
I think it needs to be R, because if it's not R, you're not going to make it realistic enough, and it's just... Although, you know what? I loved Young Guns, and that was PG-13. You ever see Young Guns?
No, I have not.
You haven't seen Young Guns?
Mm-mm.
Now, Young Guns 2 is a little cheesy, but the original Young Gun, look at the cast, too. Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen. It's stacked. Who else is in that movie? There's a ton of people. That's one of the best Westerns ever.
Oh, I don't know about that, but...
Dude, it's fantastic.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dermot Mulroney.
I mean, when you got Jack in it, Jack's back in Young Guns.
Oh, boy. This looks like it's cheesy.
What? Lou Diamond Phillips as an Indian?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's a great movie.
John Wayne. John Wayne. John Wayne. I'm pounding my fist on the table.
Howdy, partner. That's what I remember, like every movie. Howdy, partner. No, Young Gun. Come on. All right, well. Did you watch Keith and Sutherland's new show?
Not yet.
Designated Survivor?
I don't know if I will either.
I felt like I was watching 24.
It's 24. Oval Office.
Except for, yeah, he's the same character. Like like I know this isn't on. We weren't planning on talking about this, but it is 24 all over again. But he is now making decisions instead of breaking necks, right? Like he's same intensity, same person.
Now he has someone else to break the necks for.
That's
him.
what. Yeah, it's pretty intriguing. I liked it. I liked that first episode. We'll see what happens.
I'm actually getting all caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now because I want to check out Ghost Rider and see if it's bad or if it's good.
So I'm not going to catch up on it. I have not seen it, but I may watch one episode, and depending on that episode, I may go back or just say F this whole show forever. I can't believe they did Ghost Rider. And
why not?
It is such... That character has no business being on that show. Like,
I mean... the movie didn't work out, so might as well give it a different place.
It is completely different. Like, they don't live in the same worlds. Like, Ghost Rider and Avengers do not... So in the comics, they never line up. They are just so polar opposite. And, like, you have Ghost Rider, and you have Punisher, and Moon Knight, and you got a whole genre. Like, right? You got a group of magical demons. You got this whole thing going on. And then you got Avengers. It's different. Overlapping those, like, that's... No. Don't no. What are you doing? Give that shit to Netflix.
I can understand that, putting it on Netflix instead.
Can you like a rated, like a more, I say rated R, but whatever the Netflix shows are, like that level of Ghost Rider, that'd be pretty cool, I think.
Does Netflix even have ratings?
No, they don't. I don't believe.
Saucy Netflix.
I don't believe. Actually, that's even this show has a rating.
Hang on. I think there might be Netflix ratings.
Ooh. Well, it has to do something because it has parental controls, right? So I use parental controls. So they have to categorize it somehow.
I mean, they do have movies with the movie ratings.
So if my kids can turn on some of the Netflix originals, I don't know if that's so good. Like, you look at Netflix has a lot of original comedy, and those things are not PG. Not PG at all, right?
What are you talking about? Comedy's totally PG. Definitely not mature content whatsoever.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Until you said that, I never thought about it, but I don't remember ever seeing ratings.
They do show the movie and TV ratings. So like if there's a show that they pull from another network, it'll show like TVMA or whatever. I don't know if they have the stamp on their originals though. I'll have to go like check out when Luke Cage comes out. I'll check it out because that's going to be a TVMA.
Everybody should tweet you the answer. Everybody.
Tweet it right now. I want my messages to blow up. Please don't do that. My phone might crash.
Boom. Wow. All right. Well.
Shit.
I don't
Just
even
keep saying shit. I told you.
I don't remember what we were talking about. Magnificent Seven.
We keep getting off on these tangents.
Well, I got nothing else. Like you've already answered my question. I'll end up seeing Magnificent Seven. Probably not at the theaters though.
No, I would wait. Rent it.
Yeah.
It's fun in the theater. If you're a type of person who likes to go to the theater to see movies like this, then worth it. But I mean, if you like to be in your home more, then save some money.
I love watching big screen. I love watching action shows that are fun on the big screen. But this one, I usually also like special effects. Right? You want to appreciate all that on the big screen, the surround sound.
Yeah.
This one, I think,
it's a shoot 'em up.
Yeah. So you're not going to appreciate the special effects anymore on TV versus the movie theater. I don't think that would be since as a Western, right? Like that would be my assumption.
Yeah. It's not super CGI'd.
No, I wouldn't think so.
There's a lot of practical effects, a lot of good choreography for fights.
Indiana Jones, the best sound. Those are the best sound effects for fights. Like if you listen, everything is.
And you're like, fists don't sound that way.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a fist or a
slap.
It doesn't matter what it is.
I want to hear bone crunching.
Did you know that one of the best scenes of Indiana Jones ever in the Raiders of the Lost Ark is when he is approached by
melts their faces off?
No.
That is the greatest scene.
That is. I think they could. So, George Lucas, all these years he wanted to keep remaking Star Wars, and he kept changing the special effects. He could have went back. A few years ago and just fixed that scene. Like, that scene was so ridiculous when they melted faces off. He's got the animation and the tools. Why did he never fix that scene?
It's classic.
So was Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he cheesed the fuck up out of it. Like, that went to hell. Like, Jesus Christ.
Why was Darth Vader screaming, no?
It's like, God, he ruined that.
He did. He totally
Fix
did.
Indiana Jones. Like, just fix the melting a little bit.
Leave the melting. Drop the no.
But what I was gonna say is one of the best scenes is when he's approached by the guy with the big sword and he's flipping it around in the street and he's gonna cut him down, and Indiana Jones quickly just looks at him, and then he grabs his gun out of his holster, shoots him, and kind of looks away, just walks away. You remember that scene? That scene was one of my favorites, but that scene was actually not part of the original script. Oh. I just learned that. He actually had stomach issues. And so they needed to shoot something real quick, and they cut the scene down to that so he could scurry back to the bathroom.
To barf, yeah.
So.
I will say, sound effect wise, I was kind of disappointed. Magnificent Seven, this remake, didn't have all the crazy ricochets that you usually get. Yeah, in westerns. Like that's so classic. I know it's cheesy as hell, but I wanted to hear at least like one or two, and they didn't give it to me.
Kevin Smith has a new show, something about geeks. I can't remember what it's called. Geeks something. But on that show, I just happened to catch part of it.
Geeking Out?
Yeah, Geeking Out, that's it. And on that show, I seen a portion where one of the hosts, the female, went to Blizzard, which if you don't know Blizzard, they make a bunch of video games like World of Warcraft and all that. Mm-hmm. But what I thought was really cool is they have a crew of people that spend all day long just making sound effects. They don't reuse any of they don't go and say, oh, I need a ricochet sound effect.
Oh, they should have.
They actually go and they buy all types of garbage and they just use it and put things together to create their own sounds. So everything in their games are all original.
Nice.
I think that is freaking awesome.
Except for the Wilhelm scream. I feel like that one is one where people are like, can I just buy that and add it into that movie? Yeah. This movie didn't have that either. Like, I didn't get a ricochet. I didn't get the Wilhelm scream. I didn't get the Magnificent Seven theme until the very end of the movie. It was in the credits.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's a classic theme.
Yeah.
Why didn't you use it? I mean, even The Lone Ranger, which was a shitty movie, updated I
couldn't do it.
William Tell Overture.
Yeah,
because Hans Zimmer redid it and made it.
I had that on cassette. Just that song.
I love that song.
And I would play it over and over and over, and I thought it was a fantastic song. I love that song. I've never seen the remake of Lone Ranger. I can't watch it.
Talk about a long movie.
I can't
It's
watch
actually
it.
one of those movies where if you put it on and turn the sound off,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Because you're like, wow, it's beautiful. But then you turn it on and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible.
When I read the synopsis originally, and they were talking about how they were going to make Johnny Depp the main character, and he was playing Tonto, and at first it was going to be a lot around Tonto. I ultimately don't know what they did with it, but when I see the previews, he looks so freaking ridiculous. And it was going to ruin it for me. I love the Lone Ranger. I watched the replays of that as a kid. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even you could see the cheesiness just pouring out of the screen.
It's pretty cheesy.
No way. They ruined.
It was Gore Verbinski, though. I mean, he basically was like, I'm going to make pirates, but the Lone Ranger. You're like, stop it. Stop it right now.
That show was so great back in the day for what it was at that time. That and Zorro. Love Zorro. No, I did like Steven Spielberg's Zorro. I did. I liked that one. It was a certain level of cheesiness, but so was the TV show.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out for me.
That's what I was saying. Magnificent Seven. I was like, give me some more cheese here because I'm okay with that. Especially if you're going to do PG-13, go cheese.
You might as well make it entertaining. But if you want it to be really good, I almost feel like you got to go rated R.
Yeah.
Got to go rated R. Get a little nudity in there. Somebody's dropping over dead.
Yeah, who's going to get nude? It's always the woman. It's never going to be Chris Pratt.
Well.
Unless it's Chris Pratt nude, I don't want it.
Obviously, yeah. So when
Or Denzel. I'd take Denzel too. Oh my God.
Well, that is not going to play favorable to the numbers. It is going to turn a lot of people away, right?
What is?
Denzel or Chris Pratt getting naked. All of a sudden, then it becomes becomes Magic Mike.
No, Magic Mike was about male strippers. I can understand why men were
Chris
like, I don't
Pratt
want to watch
gets
that.
naked, I'm telling you, dudes are not going.
I know several dudes who'd be like, I will admire.
Dudes are not-
I will admire. Yes.
I don't know those dudes.
I know those dudes.
I know one at least. But for most, no. I have no attention. I want to see.
Hey, my stepdad watches Wolverine and is like, ooh, Hugh Jackman is hot. He's serious. He's like, he's good looking. He's jacked.
He is jacked to hell in those movies.
You can't tell me that you don't see him and go, that's a good specimen of man right there.
Well, when you see that is a brief moment of time that he just spent 6 months to prep himself
True, and
for.
he didn't eat that following week.
No, not at all. If you listen to Ronda Rousey talk, Ronda Rousey
Yes.
is UFC and all that. She weighs
She's my hero.
Well, she weighs 135 about 3 times a year for 6 minutes.
And then she bulks the hell up.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not it's ridiculous what the image that is out there of her that everybody believes. And it's the same thing with Denzel and all these guys that are Hugh Jackman. Mm-hmm. They're like that for a brief moment of time.
Yep.
And then
Chris Hemsworth was talking about Thor, and he was like, I eat a chicken breast with some broccoli, and then I don't drink water because I need to be flat.
Yep. No water. They don't want to bloat.
It's crazy. They'll even do like a shot of whiskey or something to dehydrate them anymore.
Yeah, they want to drain. They do a lot of salt baths too.
Yeah.
Just suck all that water right out of you. Well, let's face it, Chris Pratt's not going to look like Santa tomorrow. Even a rough Chris Pratt's probably.
I don't know. He looks pretty damn good.
All right. We're lucky it's PG-13. No nudity. Stay away from
damn.
that. Well, that's it.
Yeah, we talked a lot. Got off on some tangents.
Well, we were actually on a good time frame until the tangents, and then it got away from us. So
sounds about right.
Oh, well. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, you can get this show over on iTunes or on Google Play or SoundCloud or any other of the podcast distribution channels, including YouTube. Did you know we're on YouTube?
I did not know we're on YouTube.
I just realized I didn't probably tell you that. Oh, yeah, we're on YouTube.
Oh, well, now I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
if I'm on YouTube, yikes.
Well, it's only audio, folks. There's no show, so...
You can't see my Megamind head.
No. However, I do have a little camera here that I'm dying to use, so...
Next time?
I would love to do Facebook Live, and if it does Facebook Live, once it does it live, then it drops it to YouTube, so the video would be on YouTube afterwards.
Oh.
We're getting all techie
fancy.
On this place. Absolutely. Well, we got to go to where the people are. But they don't want to come to us all the time. Not yet. They don't know us well enough, so we got to go to where they're at.
What if we have candy? I mean, you can't get it through the internet, but you can pretend.
Well, you do that angle, and I'm going to do the other angle and see which one pays off.
I'm going to drive by in a creepy van.
No, I won't tell that story. Anyway.
Well, now I want to know it.
Anyway. No, well, as soon as you said that, it reminds me, like, there's a story where, and I wasn't me, but my wife.
I like how you have to clarify that it wasn't
me.
you.
No, my one of my kids decided they were big enough to walk home from school by themselves. So one day they decide they're going to walk home. And my wife went to pick them up, and she's like, I'm walking home. So she walks home, and my wife in our truck, or Jeep, tinted windows, and it's dark and black vehicle, slowly is just driving, behind her.
Oh my God.
Just following her home. And sure enough, the lights kick on, and the cops pull up behind her and pull her over for following kids. Put her on a list.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they had they put her on there's a list, and they had to call the school and validate, who she was and all this stuff. And then
oh my God.
Her brother is, he's on the police force for the city that we're in. Not that it's a big secret why did I say the city we're in, but he's on the police force, and yeah, sure enough, she was on the list for a while and everything. The whole 9 yards, like, well, that's my little girl, like, just walking home. But so don't even stalk your kids. Not good. Don't stalk them. Don't stalk.
Just stalk them online.
Bad. Well, you definitely should stalk them online.
I stalk all kinds of people online.
I stalk my kids online. Like, she thinks she can get away with some Instagram and Snapchat shit, but no, not in my house. No.
Busted.
I watch everybody.
My parents follow me on everything, and I actually told them when they started following me, I'm like, I am not changing what I say for you.
Good
so
for you.
Be ready.
I wish my kids would do that. Just be yourself. Even if I don't like the F-bombs or whatever, right? There's some things I probably would not enjoy, but hiding makes it even makes me more curious.
Yeah, if you have something to hide, that probably means it's not great. Now, I feel like 16-year-old Bailey would say something way different and be like, oh my God, I can't believe my mom is spying on me.
Kid, my oldest, my middle one knows. She's not getting away too far, but she does like her distance. And I respect her privacy, but Dad will still watch. She doesn't know what she doesn't know.
Got to keep the creepers away.
Fuck yeah, you do. Stay away, fuckers. All right, you can follow us over on Twitter. I am at FanNameDan, and you are at
Bales of Hemp. We also have at Any Given Sat.
Shit. I almost forgot. Yeah, yes. Saturday. Any Given Saturday was too long, so now we're Any Given Sat. So
go follow us. We're trying to build up our followers now.
And eventually we'll get on Facebook if you guys care. I don't know. Does anybody on Facebook care?
My grandma's on Facebook, but that's about it.
You know what, people? It's different genres. Sports. Like, people love Tommy Frazier on Facebook, but I guess they love him on Twitter, too. Don't listen
Sports
to me. I'm just talking about them. They're all over the fucking place. Whatever. All right, go to those places and follow everybody. All the above.
Follow us, Grandma.
Does your grandma listen?
Probably. I don't know. If she can even download this. I'm making fun of her.
Does she have
I'm going to
internet?
get a call. She'll
Does
be
she
like,
have
oh my God. Yeah, she does.
Go follow us then.